So we'll start with the third part of your module 4, chapter 13, wired LAN Ethernet. So this is the last part also of this chapter. The topic that we are going to do today is fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet was designed to compete with LAN protocols such as FDDI or fiber channel. IEEE created fast Ethernet under the name 802.3u. Fast Ethernet is backward compatible with standard Ethernet, but it can transmit data 10 times faster at the rate of 100 Mbps. So this is the specialty of the fastest Internet, that is to send the data at around 100 Mbps rate. So the next subtopic that we are going to discuss today will be the MAC layer as well as the physical layer in this. So, the goals of the fast Ethernet can be summarized as follows. Upgrade the data rate at 100 Mbps, make it compatible with standard Ethernet, keep the same 48 bits address, keep the same frame format, keep the same minimum and the maximum frame length. So, we are going to study today will be the MAC sublayer. The main considerations of the evolution of Ethernet from 10 to 100 Mbps was to keep the MAC sublayer untouched. However, decisions was made to drop the bus topologies and keep only the star topology. So over here it was only using usage of the star topology. For the star topology there were two choices as we saw before, half duplex and full duplex. In half duplex approach, the stations are connected to a hub. In a full duplex approach, the connection is made via a switch with buffers at each port. The access method is the same, that is CSMA CD for the half duplex approach. For full duplex fast Ethernet, there is no need for CSMA CD. However, the implementations keep CSMA CD for backward compatible with standard Ethernet. Auto negotiation. A new feature is added to fast Ethernet called auto negotiation. It allows a stations or a hub a range of capabilities. Auto negotiation allows two devices to negotiate the mode or data rate of operation. It was designed particularly for the following purposes. Now, why exactly auto negotiation was used in the MAC sublayer was to allow incompatible devices to connect with one another. What is the term incompatible over here means? It is explained over here with an example. A device with a maximum capacity of 10 Mbps can communicate with a device with 100 Mbps. So in that cases, suppose there are two devices connected to each other and one device has the maximum capacity of 100 Mbps and other device has the capacity of only 10 Mbps. So in that cases, to actually lower the rate, now in that cases both the devices has to connect and as well as communicate with each other. So because of that, okay, we are actually using that auto negotiation to allow one device to have multiple capabilities and also to allow a station to check hubs capabilities. Now, the physical layer, inside the physical layer, the fastest Internet topologies uses the physical layer. So, we are having point to point and star. So, inside a point to point, there is a direct connections between the two devices and they can communicate each other directly. As far as the star is concerned, yes, there can be more than two devices which are being connected to each other, but via the switch over here. So, when the data has to be sent, this station has to send the data. For example, this is station A, B and C. Suppose station A wants to send the data to C, it has to send the data through the switch. The next one is the fast Ethernet implementations. Now, as far as the fast Ethernet implementation is concerned, there are three types, that is 100 base TX, okay, that is for the transmissions, 2 wires, category 5 UTP as well as it can be used as STP, 10 base FX, that is now in over here students, okay, there you going to use the two wires, that is the twisted wires. Here it will be the fiber optics. So 2 wires fibers and 10 base T4, that is 4 wires category 3 UTP. Encoding. Manchester encoding needs 200 M pound bandwidth for a rate of 1000 Mbps, which makes it unsuitable for a medium such as twisted pair cable. For this reason, the fast Ethernet designers sought some alternative encoding. Now this was a disadvantage of that. So because of that they found a scheme that is nothing but it was found that one scheme will perform equally well for all the three implementations. Therefore, three encoding schemes are chosen. Now which are the three encoding schemes are nothing but 110, 100 base TX, then 100 base FX and 100 base T4. Now in these cases we are using two UTP category 5. So over here you will be using the MLT3 encoder. MLT3 encoder is nothing but multi-level transmit. Okay. So similarly at the other end you will be using the MLT3 decoder, that is nothing but the multi-level transmit. Now in that cases the data will be there over here which will be encoded by using the 4B or 5B encoder. What does bit means? B over here is nothing but the bits. Fine. So then it's going to go to the encoder. Similarly, the decoding will be there at the receiver end. Okay. The next one is 100 base FX. Okay. So you'll be having the data where again you are using the same thing, that is 4B and 5B encoder. That is B indicates the bits. NRZ, instead of using MLT over here encoder, they are using the NRZ. NRZ is nothing but non-return 0. Okay, once the data is encoded, they are using the fibers cable. At the receiver end, they are going to use the NRZ decoder and then 4B, 5B decoder, and then the receiver is going to get the data that has been sent by the sender. Similarly, as far as 100 base T4 is concerned, they are using the 8B or 6T. T is nothing but the ternary encoder. Okay, and at the receiver end 8B or 6T decoder is used, where the data over here is nothing but 100 Mbps. So we'll study in details all the three, that is 100 base TX, 100 base FX and the 100 base T4. So as far as the 100 base TX is concerned, it uses two pairs of twisted pair cables, either category 5 UTP or STP. For this implementation, the MLT scheme, that is nothing but the multi-level transmit scheme, was selected since it has a good bandwidth performance. However, since MLT3 is not a self-synchronous line encoding scheme, 4B or 5B block coding is used to provide bit synchronization by preventing the occurrence of a long sequence of zeros and ones. This creates a data rate of 125 Mbps, which leads to MLT3 encoding. Clear? Similarly, for 100 base FX, it uses two pairs of fiber optics cables. Fiber optic cables can easily handle high bandwidth requirements by using simple encoding schemes. So over here, the designers of 100 base FX selected NRZ, that is nothing but non-return to 0 I encoding scheme for these implementations. However, NRZI was a bit synchronization problems for long sequence of zeros or ones. To overcome this problem, the designers used 4B/5B block encoding, okay, as the way we are using it over here, that is for 100 base TX. The block encoding increases the bit rate from 100 to 125 Mbps, which can be easily handled by fiber optic cables. The next one is 100 base TX network can provide a data rate of 100 Mbps. Now, this one can use, okay, for data rate of around 100 Mbps, but it requires the use of category 5 UTP or STP cable. So in this diagram itself, you will be able to see over here. Clear? Next, this is not cost efficient for building, but that have already been wired for voice grade twisted pair category 3, a standard. Okay, now this as far as 100 base TX is concerned, we have already studied over here. Okay, to overcome that, okay, a new standard called 100 base T4 was designed to use the category 3 or higher UTP. So as far as this diagram is concerned, you can easily see over here, it's for category 3 UTP that is used. Okay, the implementation uses 4 pairs of UTP for transmitting 100 Mbps. Encoding or decoding in 100 base T4 is more complicated, as this implementation uses category 3 UTP. Each twisted pair cannot easily handle more than 25 M-pounds. In this design, a pair switches between sending and receiving. Three pairs of UTP category 3, however, can handle only 75 M-pound, that is 25 M-pound each. We need to use an encoding scheme that converts 100 Mbps to a 75 M-pound signals. Okay, that is 6B, that is nothing but the bits, or T, that is nothing but the ternary, satisfy this requirements. Okay, so because of that we are using 6B and 60. In 8B or 60, 8 data elements are encoded as single 6 signals element. This means that 100 Mbps can use 6/8 into 100 Mbps or 75 M-pounds. Okay, this is the summary of all the three, that is 100 base TX, 100 base FX and 100 base T4. So media over here we have already seen it is category 5 UTP or STP. Here it is using fibers. Here it is using category 4 UTP. Numbers of wires requires 2 as well as over here 4. Maximum length 100 meter, 100 meters and 100 meters. Block encoding that is used over here is 4B or 5B, 4B and 5B. It is here, over here it is actually not required. Line encoding MLT3 and NRZI, and over here it is 8B or 6T. The next thing that we are going to study is the Gigabyte Ethernet. The need for an even higher data rate resulted in a design of Gigabyte Ethernet. It is only because as the day in day out is concerned, data is getting increased. So the more information has to be get transferred between the sender and the receiver. The IEEE committee calls the standards, that is 8023Z over here. Okay, in the previous one you have seen that it is U. Okay, the goals of a Gigabyte Ethernet design was summarized as follows. It upgrades the data rate to 1 Gbps now. Make it compatible with standard or fast Ethernet. Uses the same 48-bit address over here. Use the same frame format. Keep the same minimum and the maximum frame length to support auto negotiations as defined in the fast Ethernet. Now we will see the max sublayer. The main considerations in the evolutions of Internet was to keep the max sublayer untouched. We are not touching it. Okay. However, to achieve the data rate of 1 Gbps, this was no longer possible. Gigabyte Ethernet has two distinctive approach for media access, that is half duplex and full duplex. As far as full duplex is concerned, in full duplex mode, there is a central switch that is there connected to all the computers or other switches. So over here there will be a central switch and all the other computers will be connected to it. In this mode, each switch has buffers for each input port in which data are stored until they are transmitted. So in that cases, since our data is also in huge amount, we require buffers to store for temporary storage of the data. There is no collisions in the mode. Okay, this means that CSMA CD is not used. Lack of collisions implies that the maximum length of the cable is determined by the signal's attenuations in the cable and not by the collision detection process. As far as in full duplex is concerned, of mode of a Gigabyte Ethernet, there is no collision. The maximum length of the cable is determined by the signal attenuations in the cable. The next thing we are going to study is the half duplex mode. Gigabyte Ethernet can also be used in half duplex mode, although it is very rare because full duplex is being mostly used. In this case, a switch can be replaced by a hub. So instead of a switch, we are going to use the hub over here, which acts as a common cable in which a collisions might occur. The half duplex approach uses CSMA CD. However, if we saw before, the maximum length of the network in this approach is totally dependent upon the minimum frame size. So over here, three methods are used: traditional, carrier extensions and the frame busting. As far as the traditional is concerned, we will go with the first one. In the traditional approach, we keep the minimum length of the frame as a traditional internet, that is by using only 1512 bits. However, because of the length of the bits is 11100, shorter than the Gigabyte Ethernet, okay, then in 10 Mbps Ethernet, the slot time of Gigabyte Ethernet is 512 bits into 111000 GS, which is equals to 0.512 GS. The reduced time slot time means that collisions is detected 100 times earlier. This means that the maximum length of the network is 25 meters. This length may be suitable for all the stations in one room, but it may not even be long enough to connect the computers to one single office. So, as far as the your traditional half duplex is concerned, students, it uses only 512 bits. As far as the carrier extension is concerned, to allow a longer network with increase in the minimum frame length, the carrier extension approach defines the minimum length of the frame as 512 bytes, which is nothing but 4096 bits. This means that the minimum length is 8 times longer. This method forces the stations to add extension bits. Padding. Padding is nothing but in case suppose your frame size is less than 4096 bits. Okay, this is the frame size has to be there. And suppose your frame size does not come up to 4096. So you are going to add up zeros at the end of the frames. Okay, where the data is there, no students, at the end of the data you are going to just pad up, okay, or add up 0 bits. Okay, this directly indicates that nothing is been there. Okay, so your data will be there, and since your data is not as much as 4096, because of that padding is done. In this way, the maximum length of the network can be increased 8 times the length of 200 meters. This allows the length of 100 meters from the hub to the stations. The next one is frame busting. Carrier extension is very insufficient if we have a series of short frames to send. Each frame carries redundant data. To improve efficiency, frame busting was proposed. Instead of adding an extension to each frame, multiple frames are sent. So, instead of doing extensions, what we are doing is we are actually dividing the frames into multiple frames. However, to make this possible, multiple frames look like one frame, padding is added between the frames. So, to make it as if it is a one frame only, okay, you are adding the zeros, the same as that used for the carrier extension method, that is the in this way, so that the channel is not idle. In other words, the method deceives other stations into thinking that very large frame that has been transmitted. Okay, so the topologies of a gigabyte ethernet is again point to point is there, where the two devices are connected directly to each other and they can send the data directly. As far as the star is concerned, they are having a switch where more than two devices can connect to each other, send the data via the switch. So two stars are nothing but one star you can see over here, the other star, and the two switches will be there which are connected to each other. So over here, if this is my A, B and C station and this is my D, E and F. So A wants to send the data to D. So it is going to send to the switch. From this switch, it is going to go to this switch, and then the transfer of the data will take place. Similarly, hierarchy of the stars, you can see many switches are connected to each other to send the data. The next one, gigabyte ethernet implementations. Now these are the gigabyte ethernet implementation, that is thousands base SX, 1000 base LX, thousands base CX and the thousands base T. So thousands base SX is nothing but it uses two wires, short wave fibers. Over here for LX it uses two wires, long wave fiber. For CX, two wires but they are of copper, STP, and T will be four wires, UTP. Okay, so as far as the encoding of gigabyte ethernet is concerned, it uses, okay, 1000 base SX, 1000 base LX and 1000 base CX. Okay, 8 into 125 Mbps of the data where you are using the block encoder. The block encoder over here used is 8B or slash 10B. B is nothing but your bits. Okay, so once that is done, you are going to go to the NRZ, that is non return to zero line encoder, where it is encoding and it is being sent via the two fibers or two STPs. Then later at the decoder side, okay, that is at the receiver side, NRZ line decoder is used, that is not return to 0, where you are again decoding it by using 8B slash 10B block decoder, and you are getting the data at the receiver end. Similarly, for using thousands base T, 8 into 125 Mbps of the data, where you are using 4D PMS 5 decoder, sorry, encoder, where the data is encoded by, and it is sent via the 4 UTP cables. where at the decoder end, okay, that is at the receiver end, by using, after getting the data, you are decoding it by using 4D PMS PAM5 decoder, and you are getting the data that has been sent. Okay, so we are going to study this. Gigabit Ethernet cannot use the Manchester encoding scheme because it involves a very high bandwidth, that is 2G bound. The two-wire implementation using NRZ scheme, but NRZ does not self-synchronize properly. To synchronize the bits, particularly at this high rate, okay, 8B or 10B block. So here, since synchronizations cannot be done, so because of that, we are using the 8B/10B block encoder. Okay, that is being used. This block encoding prevents long sequence of zeros and ones in the stream, but the resulting stream is 1.25 Gbps. This you can directly see. Note that this implementations one wire fiber or STP is used for sending and receiving of the data, and one for the receiving. In the 4 wire, now over here, that is 4 UTP cables. Okay, implementation is not possible to have 2 wires for input and 2 for the output, because each wire will need to carry 500 Mbps, which exceeds the capacity of the category 5 UTP. As a solution, 4D PAMS, that is PAM5 encoding, is used to reduce the bandwidth. Thus, all the 4 wires are involved in both input and output. Each wire carries 250 Mbps, which is the range for category 5 UTP cables. So because of this, okay, you are actually using a different kinds of decoders and encoders so that the data can be sent properly, okay, at the receiver and as well as at the sender end. So this is the summary, that is 10,000 base SX, 1000 base LX, 1000 base CX and 1000 base T. Media over here is fiber, shortwave, fiber, long wave, STP and category 5 UTP. Numbers of wires 2, 2, 2 over here, and for the last one it will be a 4. Maximum length 550 meters, 5000 meter, 25 meters and 100 meters. Block encoding 8B/10B, 8B/10B, 8B/10B. As far as 1000 base T is concerned, you are not using block encoding over here, because directly that synchronizations will be done by the line encoding, that is 4D PAM5. As far as line encoding is concerned, we are using the non-return to 0 for 1000 base SX, 1000 base LX as well as 1000 base CX. 10 gigabyte Ethernet. The IEEE committee created 10 gigabyte Ethernet and call it standard 802.3AE. The goals of the 10 gigabyte Ethernet design can be summarized as follow. Upgrade the data rate to 10 Gbps, make it compatible with standard fast and gigabyte Ethernet, use the same 48-bit address, use the same frame format, keep the same minimum and the maximum frame length, allow the interconnections of existing LAN into a metropolitan area network. Metropolitan area network of the wide area networks. As far as wide area network students, it will be for the entire world. Metropolitan area network will be within the cities. Okay, we have already studied this in the earlier modules. Okay, and make Ethernet compatible with technologies such as frame relay and ATM. Okay, MaxWire 10 gigabyte Ethernet operates only in full duplex. So you cannot use half duplex over here mode, which means there is no need of the contention, that is CSMA CD is not at all required for your 10 gigabyte Ethernet. Physical layer, the physical layer in 10 gigabyte Ethernet is designed for using fiber optics cables over long distances. 3 implementations are most common, that is 10G base S, 10G base L and 10G base E. Now, you all don't have in detail regarding those, so we'll just see the summary of those, that is 10G base S, 10G base L and 10G base E. That is media over here used is short wave 850 nm multi-mode. Here you are using long wave 1310 nm single mode. Over here you are using extended, E will be for extended 1550 mm single mode. As far as the maximum length is concerned, 300 meters, 10 kilometers and this will be for 40 kilometers. Friends, with this we are done with this chapter, okay, of module 4. In case suppose you are having any difficulties, priorly go through all the three parts, that is part 1, part 2 and part 3 of the chapter. And if in case suppose you are having any difficulties, please do let me know. We'll clear out your doubts as soon as possible. Thank you.